words of my mouth and the meditations of my heart be acceptable to you, O Lord, my God. Amen. I'm grateful. That was the regular response of a friend of mine a few years ago to my casual question, how are you? It took me by surprise, not just the first or second time, but almost every time. Eventually, of course, I wasn't so much surprised as I was struck by the simplicity and power of this statement. It wasn't the answer I expected. Indeed, we usually expect little more than fine, or pretty good, or maybe once in a while, great, when we ask this conversational placeholder, how are you? I'm grateful. My colleague chose her words with care. She wanted to make a point that gratitude is not only a response to good fortune, but also a choice we make. Certainly, that's true of the leper in today's gospel reading. 10 were healed. 10, no doubt, were surprised at this discovery. Perhaps some were overjoyed. Perhaps some celebrated. Perhaps others ran to tell their family and friends. Perhaps a few even took it for granted. Who knows? What we do know is that one not only felt thankful, but decided to actually give voice to those emotions, to express his gratitude to Jesus and to God. Gratitude is indeed a response to the blessings of life, but it is also a choice to see those blessings, name them, and express our gratitude in word and deed. And giving voice to gratitude, a choice with consequences, for as we express our gratitude, we affect those around us, even shape the reality in which we live. Think about it. Gratitude is not only the emotion we might choose to express in response to the events of any given day. There are reasons for gratitude, yes, and also reasons for fear, for anger, for frustration, grief, for regret, for apprehension. Each and all of these colors our experience, makes its appearance on the stage of our lives, and perhaps each has a place and a role to play from time to time. But we choose how much stage time to grant each of these emotions by giving them expression, and as we do so, we give them power in our lives. And that's what's key. We are making choices. We may feel a range of emotions to all kinds of circumstances and situations, but we choose which to give expression. When confronted by someone who is angry, do we respond with anger as a form of self-protection? Or do we choose empathy, trying to understand the emotions of the other? And gratitude, that the person was willing to be honest. When we are set back in some endeavor at school or work, do we express frustration or a resolve to keep at it? And gratitude for what we've learned through this setback. These are choices. A colleague of mine is living with a form of incurable brain cancer. After much treatment and prayer, it has gone into what is called partial remission. It is not growing, but it cannot be removed. One day it will grow again and take his life, but not today. And he is not only grateful, but also shares that gratitude. I suspect he has moments where he feels bitter or resentful or fearful or any of the other range of emotions that would be completely understandable. But he chooses to live gratefully, viewing each day as another gift of grace and giving voice to his gratitude. Maybe that seems like a tall order, something beyond the reach of most of us, available to a few spiritual giants. Or maybe it is a response that, having been practiced over a lifetime, now comes easily to my calling, and could come just as easily to each of us. Because here's the thing. Like all of our other options become easier to choose as we practice. Gratitude, like faith and hope, love and commitment, are not inborn traits that some have and others don't. But rather, gratitude is more like a muscle that can be strengthened over time. And as you practice giving thanks and more frequently share your gratitude, you not only grow in gratitude, but create an example for others. More than that, you create a climate in which it is easier to be grateful and encourage those around you to see the blessings all around us. I'm grateful. Take a moment to scan the headlines and you'll see how scarce and how desperately needed more expressions of gratitude are. Accusations, excuses, venting anger, these seem to have a hold of our culture. Indeed, we seem to live in the age of complaint. Whether shared in person or increasingly through the venue of social media, what a powerful response gratitude is in these situations. In this light, saying I'm grateful does not simply express our thanksgiving, but actually gives voice to a countercultural witness that has the power to shape those around us, push back the tide of resentment and complaint that ails us, and make room for a fresh appreciation of God's renewing, saving grace. So this week, I'm going to challenge you all to start practicing your gratitude and develop a greater Thanksgiving-oriented muscle memory by responding for the rest of this month to the question, how are you? With the simple but powerful reply, I'm grateful. It may surprise you and those around you how meaningful this simple practice can be. Now, I know, depending on circumstances, this may be difficult for some. Overwhelmed by grief, loss, or stress, we may have difficulty in giving voice to gratitude just now. And that's okay. It will come. Gratitude is not a command. It's an invitation, one God never tires of making. So for now, if it seems beyond you, God understands. And for the meantime, the rest of us will give thanks in your stead. Don't be afraid to practice even at home and with family. So, my friends, how are you? Grateful. Grateful. Amen. Few announcements. Confirmation class does not continue after this service. It does continue on October 23rd. So if you have any interest to join in on that class, please let me know. Donations for the Life Food Pantry can be made over in the wagon right over here. Pub Theology is this Thursday at Pub 15. And Saturday is the Holy Hike. Got a lot going on. And then Trick or Treat on October 31st is going to be here, so please don't forget to bring in lots and lots of candy. From what I hear, we ran out of candy last year, or what the last time we did it, whatever it was. So we need as much as we possibly can.
Really cheap at DG.
Really cheap at the Dollar General. So, any other announcements? Okay. Before I do birthdays and anniversaries, one quick announcement. Sarah and I are part of a Dinner for 8 group from a previous congregation that we were actually attending. And they have been planning on this dinner for a long time and then said, hey, it's going to be at 1 o'clock. So we have to leave immediately after the service to get there in time. It has nothing to do with y'all. I love you all and I would love to spend time with you, but we promised we would be there. So we have to leave immediately following. So if you need me, please don't hesitate to call me or get an email to me. I will get whatever you need. Any birthdays or anniversaries? Wow. Okay. Anything I missed, Becky? Okay. Through Jesus, therefore, let us continually offer to God a sacrifice of praise, the fruit of lips that openly profess his name, and do not forget to do good and to share with others, for with such sacrifices God is pleased.